Welcome back, Habbening friends. It is I, your UK Socialist Fabian Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. I am here tonight via Brainlink, possessing the capitalist and reactionary body of this far-right conspiracy theorist streamer in order to talk to you about my new plan for change. Yes, things are going to change. Not necessarily for the better, but there will be change. Socialism requires change. Fabian incrementalism requires change. As a result, we have set a number of socialist targets that are far removed from what most people want, but that's okay. I did not become Prime Minister to be popular or to pander to the desires of the electorate. I was elected or installed to institute Fabian socialism. That is my mission, and that is what I will do. If you can bear hearing me speak for a full hour without reaching for the Xanax, then I highly recommend that you go and watch my complete explanation of the mandate and program for change. I hear it is an excellent sleep aid and will also be used as the method to institute assisted dying for the elderly. In the case of brain death, we will install a chip that will pipe this speech directly to the brains of the people on the verge of death, and you will not be able to hear their screams as they will be already paralyzed. Thank you very much. I now return you to your regularly scheduled far-right conspiracy theorist programming. No, get out of my head. Welcome back, everybody. I would say thank you to Keir Starmer, but he hacked into my brain chip. Bros, he just hacked in. Just took over. This is happening more and more frequently. I'm afraid. I was in the shop trying to buy some milk the other day. And, instead of just, having a bit of like small chat with the shopkeeper, instead I started going on about a new plan for change. It's very, very embarrassing. It took me a while and a couple of sharp blows to the head to get it out. Terrible. I feel violated or something. You know what I mean? Yes, welcome back. It's a Monday. No, it's a Thursday. I'm getting my days mixed up. It's a Thursday, and you know what that means. It's another Habbening TV. Tonight, we have, Starmer's new plan for change, which is basically a plan for Fabian socialism. You guys all stoked for Fabian socialism? Woo! Fabian socialism! Yay! Woo! Fuck. Mind you, shit was so bad under the Conservatives. I'm seriously asking myself, I'm like, would Fabian socialism be so bad at this point? That's how bad things are, bros. You know shit is really, really bad when you're like, Fabian socialism. Perhaps that wouldn't be so bad. Oh, God. It's terrible. It's terrible. We also have, what else we got? Oh, yeah, the head of this US health insurance company, United Health, was assassinated in New York by persons unknown, but it looks like it might have been an ideologically motivated killing. Quite possibly revenge for the horrible state of the US healthcare system. We'll be going into some of that and some of these sort of deeper, implications of more widespread political violence in the US as sort of Trump begins to take over. Also, of course, we have a little bit of clip from Dr. Peter Hotez. I don't know whether he was technically the COVID czar. The COVID teddy bear, right? Who's basically like, oh yeah, bros, you'll never guess. But there's like a whole bunch of diseases coming. It looks like they're gonna hit about January 21st. He literally says January 21st, the day after Trump gets inaugurated. So I mean, there's lots to look forward to. Someone of a conspiratorial frame of mind might ask, Dr. Hotez how it is he can be so precise. But, obviously the only people who would ask that kind of question are crazy conspiracy theorists. It's fine. You know what I mean? Science is now so progressed that you can literally predict coming pandemics, literally down to the hour, date, and the second. And coincidentally, I imagine that hour, date, and second will be immediately after Trump is sworn into the White House. Fucking hell. And finally, Australia bros. I don't know if I've got any Australian viewers, but if I do, if you pick this stream up and you're watching, are you okay, bros? I mean, I know your country is basically being completely screwed over, but there's been a startling development. It looks like the people of Australia are getting a bit pissed off, particularly the youngins. Obviously, I can't possibly see why. Australia is obviously a paradise on Earth, right? If you just, don't look at the speech restrictions, the COVID lockdowns, the mass immigration, the heat, the weather, the funnel webs, all that kind of stuff. It's an absolute paradise. Yes, it looks like one of the reasons why the government might be going for this big sort of social media crackdown for under 16s is there seems that there is an alarming rise of young Australians who are basically fuck this, mate, fuck this is fucked. And, and potentially going a bit Amstrad, bros, going a bit violent. That's not how it's supposed to work. You're just supposed to stand there, right, and let the socialists touch you up. You know how they love to do, right? They just come up behind you and be like, yeah, right? Just stand there, just lie there and think of Australia, while they fucking give you a good rogering. Ugh. So yes, that's tonight's stories. I hope you all enjoy. Let's have a hello to everyone in the chat. Livia Drusilla in Rumble. Livia Drusilla, good to see you. She says Albo's economic figures are just out. All is collapsing. Yeah, well, what a surprise. Who would have thought that globalist neo-Marxist socialism or whatever the fucking hell you call this, toxic brew raining down upon us would be bad for people. I'm shocked. Fox39 Forever. Mass Creation Broadcasts. Good to see you, sir. J. Chiva Loophole. Ardent Party. Resident Leprechaun, for some reason, Sede Sapiente, Mikey Bikey, good to see you, mate. Anybody else? Patriots Flow, of course, great to see you, man. Wyatt's Torch, the Texas Man, our correspondent from the great state of Texas. Hope you are well, sir. Yiz the Eunuch, I'll be on Empire of Lies tonight with Yiz. We will be talking about James Lindsay again. And his weird sort of thing to astroturf this idea of the woke right. And man, he got a weird website to publish this thing he wrote that has some similarity to Marx's critique of liberal alienation. Oh wow, bros, it just proves the woke right is a thing. It's not a thing. Stop trying to make it a thing. We'll be talking about that. Let's see, anybody else? I think that's everybody. I hope there's nobody I missed. On YouTube we have Budgie Burger, Full Short. Oh, I think you're new, sir. Welcome. Roger Cook. Oh no, that's a cool name. I think you're new as well. For White Wellbeing, good to see you, mate. Anybody else? We got some new people. Oh, that's lovely. Hello, all the new people. And on Odyssey, we have Wibble. And hello to all of you lurkers out there, right? Not participating in the chat. I know you're out there. I can hear you breathing. I can see the view numbers. And speaking of view numbers, if you would like to support a humble streamer, buy me a pub of a pint at the pub, which for the moment is still legal. Fortunately, you can do so by sending money to Entropy, linky in the description. Speaking of which, I believe we already have an Entropy. I heard the bleepy go off. It's Ardent Party. Have some commie leaf bucks for your good work. Well, thank you very, very much, Senor Ardent. Here's the dancing drum for you. Today's meme, of course, reasons to trust the legacy media, of which there are many. There are none. None, but still in blue, still none. So there you go. You got 3 good reasons not to trust the legacy media. Just don't do it, bros. Yes, C-Days, yeah, I know. I've got the entropy. Right, so let's get on with it. Let me just find the window. I really should get my windows better sorted out. But it's fine. It's all good. Right, so a lot of good memes around this Starmer thing. I got a bunch of memes and funny videos around this to help lessen the pain as Fabian's socialism slowly penetrates the anus of this country. Man, this place is fucked up. And if you survive this winter, you might be interested in Labour's assisted dying bill. Oh, mate, I can't afford to heat my home. Well, you know what's really, really cheap to heat? One of those suicide pods. Now, this was, in fact, the absolutely 100% real video of Starmer launching his thing. Definitely not AI. This really, really happened, bros. I swear to God. Yeah. Enjoy.
Welcome to the relaunch of the Labour Party. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I just want you all to know that I have seen the polls. Even Nigel far right is doing better than me, and I am quite frankly bricking it. So no more 22 billion black hole bollocks. No more hiding from simple questions. Here is my promise for the next 5 years.
We're here to mock.
I mean, unironically, that's not a bad description. Did I watch the entire hour-long thing? Fuck no. I already have enough brain damage. I don't need that shiz. I mean, maybe if I was trying to like work on my Starmer impression, but I think it's pretty good. I think I've got sort of the complete lifelessness down. The trick really is just not to like move your mouth in any expressive manner and just sort of basically act like you have a face stamped out of sheet metal. That's the trick, bros. If you want to try your own Starmer impression at home, you can also remove sort of parts of your brain related to emotion, empathy, that kind of like stuff. Give it a try. You can do it at home, unless of course you're in the UK. You probably can't get a license for the knife that you would need to do home surgery. So this is just a taster. As I said, I couldn't bear to watch the whole thing. I'm sorry. I know usually that is my job, is to watch all the horrible stuff so I can clip it. But it was too boring even for people on Twitter to clip, so I couldn't find many clips of it because no one gives a shit.
1. Higher living standards in every region of the country as we target the highest sustained growth in the G7. So working people have more money in their pocket.
I just want to point out, right, that at the moment, getting the highest growth in the G7 is not terribly difficult. They're all stuck around like 0.5% or like 1%. All the economies are basically flatlining because they can't really, have a depression or anything. Everything's basically in stasis. So, good on you. Good on you here, right? Like, we might have an economy at some point in the future grow a whole like 1.5% in 1 year. Woo! Wow! Woo! Of course, inflation's probably still running like, 2-3%. Maybe even more, they love to fudge the statistics. So, I mean, good luck with that, right?
The burden of the cost of living crisis no longer intruding on the joy of their family life. 2, Britain rebuilt with 1.5 million new homes.
Sir Keir, whatever your fucking name is. How many of those houses are going to go to illegal migrants? Are you... Lots of those houses will be going to illegal migrants. Or maybe not. It looks like, the Labour Party is trying to outflank reform on immigration. They are saying words. Whether they will actually do the stuff, I don't know. We will see, bros.
So the security I enjoyed when I was growing up, the base camp aspiration of home ownership, doesn't move further and further away from working class families like mine. 3, safer streets, more police on the beat, stamping out antisocial behaviour in every community.
Sir Keir, Christopher Carrion, Newsvist, here to annoy the shit out of you. Will these police be actually solving crime, or will they be assigned to the hurty words unit? I mean, you did say antisocial behaviour. Surely hate speech is a form of antisocial behaviour. Will you be assigning 3,000 of those police officers to make sure that people are not saying hurty words on the internet? I certainly hope so. Hurty words kill, bros. Livy Drusilla thought police knocking on every door. It's wonderful. It's a whole new world. I can't wait. Look at the time. Is it 1984 already? Oh, goodness me.
Because nobody should feel insecure in the streets that they call home. 1.
Well, Thanks, Keir. I appreciate that no one should feel insecure in the streets that they call home. It would make a nice change from the last, I don't know, 5-6 years of feeling constantly unsafe. But to be fair, a lot of the reason why I've been feeling unsafe is because of the government. So, if you could not, be a retard in government, that would be great. It's not looking good so far, but hope springs eternal. Bros, he's going to deliver change, bro. It's a plan. It's a plan for change. Why do they always have to use this fucking rainbow color bullshit? Well, we know why, of course, because they're all fucking like UN Sustainable Development Goal, World Economic Forum, fucking douchebags. Oh god, this color scheme. It's not just me, is it, bros? Is that just not like vomit inducing? Oh god. It looks like something out of V for Vendetta. Honestly, right? Like, what does it say? Kickstart economic growth, build an NHS fit for the future, safer streets, break down the barriers to opportunity. And what does the last one say? I can't even read it. Mass creation broadcast. It's New Britain. New Britain, guys. New Britain is just like Britain, but it's new. Shout out to Scrump Monkey. It's one of my favorite sayings of his. Is New Britain. So this is a poor BBC reporter. Actually, I don't know why I should be saying that. I think BBC reporters basically deserve every unfortunate thing that happens to them. So this is a BBC reporter standing in the cold rain somewhere outside of London, in the wasteland, waiting, for Starmer the Llama Harmer to deliver his plan for change, bros.
They sent me to all the most glamorous locations. Here I am surrounded by barbed wire. Looks like I'm about to be incarcerated for the next umpteen years. I've just stepped out of a white tent where people are clutching cardboard cups of tea and mince pies. Lots of journalists, lots of cabinet ministers and keen bean Labour MPs. It's 5 months to the day since the general election, and being here this morning feels like an election manifesto launch, except we're after the election, not before the election. So what are they doing? Yes, critics are saying it's a relaunch. To be fair to them, they've been planning a moment like this for a while. Would they do it before the budget or after the budget? They've decided to do it now. What they're doing is what a lot of governments will often do, which is set measurable targets against which they can be judged to try and give themselves, if you like, a bit of structure for how they govern and how they prioritise. On the upside, from their perspective, it's things that they can point to if there are improvements. On the downside, maybe there aren't those improvements, and then people will say, well, hang on a minute, they were your metrics and you failed.
And Chris, given that this is 5 months into their government, why now? Why is this something that they're launching nearly half a year after coming into power?
Well, and that's a fair question, and it's a question that sceptics and critics of the government are posing. I think it's about wrestling back a sense of ownership of what they're trying to do. So in the first couple of months, they've really emphasised what they see as the tricky inheritance that they took on from the Conservatives. I think that they know that the diminishing returns kick in about blaming a previous government the longer you've been around. And then on top of that, they want to point to things that they think are really important things that voters around the UK will want to see achieved, whether that's be increasing the number of police, visible policing in the street, dealing with waiting lists in hospitals, improving the prospects for preschool children, for instance, amongst the other things. Yes, they are measurable, and
so they're going to set a bunch of targets. They're not going to know whether they hit those targets for like years. So basically, for like the next 3 years, when anyone says, what you're doing is crap, they'll be like, well, we have set targets. We will have to wait and see until we see whether those targets have been met. So, great. Patriots flow. It's a plan for stealing your change. More like, yes, indeed. I don't have any more money left to give the government. So this is it. This is the plan for change. Do you feel changified, bros? I feel the wave of change going through me, or possible acute intestinal distress. one or the other. Either way, I'm definitely going to need a bathroom because of just all the change flowing through me. So they're gonna kickstart economic growth by raising living standards, so working people have more money in their pocket. How? You're literally taxing the living shit out of everyone, and inflation is going through the roof, and the price of energy is the most expensive in the Western world. Just how? Oh, they'll probably just like magic up more fucking money, right? Like, fuck, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Rebuilding Britain, building 1.5 million homes in England, and fast-tracking planning decisions on at least 150 major economic infrastructure projects. To be fair, some of that could actually, be all right, if it's like trains and stuff. I think the problem is that a serious chunk of those infrastructure projects are probably shit like carbon capture, windmill farms, solar farms, and all that other happy horseshit, right? If it was just like more railway lines and better highways, I would be like, okay, fair enough. Build an NHS fit for the future, end hospital backlogs. Well, you got to do something about immigration, mate, right? Like you can't keep importing insane amounts of people and reduce the NHS waiting list. It just doesn't work, right? Although it looks like they're saying they're going to do that. Whether they're actually going to do it or not, don't know. Putting police back on the beat. To police hurty words. Now, again, right, okay, I am being cynical and a bit of a douchebag, and I do not like Starmer. But if they can, actually do something about the crime, that would be pretty cool. I mean, they are on the left, so it's not like they can call them racist every single time they arrest, a black person for doing horrible stuff. And, presumably that will be a great boon, because one of the problems with the Conservatives is that every single time someone called them racist, they're just like, oh no. Just go like, yeah, whatever, like, fuck off. My God, it's 2020, it's 2025, nearly 2025. Can we please just stop acting like being called racist is like the worst thing in the world? It's happened to everyone at this point. It's basically like COVID. Everybody's had it. Just fucking like be like, yeah, whatever. Move on. You know what I mean? Drop a hard R or two. Just go about your day, right? Break down the barriers to opportunity. Giving children the best start in life, with a record 75% of 5-year-olds in England ready to learn when they start school. Well, that is fraught with problems. All kinds of problems. Immigration, of course, being a big one. There's a lot of people who are like trying to like homeschool. I don't know. I don't know enough about the school system to say how, make Britain a clean energy superpower, securing homegrown energy, protecting bill payers, and putting us on track to at least 95% clean power by 2030, while accelerating the UK to net zero. Oh, great. So everything's going to be more expensive because the electricity is going to be more expensive. Because green energy doesn't work here, because I don't know if anyone fucking told you this. England is fucking overcast as hell, right? Like, if you were Australia and you're like, we're going to run the country off solar power, you'd be like, okay, there's like a big ass fucking desert out there that you could like basically pave over with like solar panels. That at least could in theory work. Not in bloody England. Texas man with the $5 N tower. Let's give Texas man some love on his N tower. Here's a walking honker for you, Texas man. Thank you very, very much, mate. So yes, the plan for change. So some people are like, why aren't you talking about immigration? He sort of has been, but it's not in the plan. On the other hand, right, like this plan was probably ready to go like a couple of months ago, right? I suspect they were probably going to like launch this, and then all the Southport stuff happened. And so, they were very, very much on the back foot. This is their attempt to like reset. Let's get past all the unpleasantness. Let's not talk about that dude who died in prison after we imprisoned him for like yelling at a police officer. Let's forget about that, right? We got a plan for change. We certainly changed the life of that one guy. Now I made myself sad.
Why no hard target on cutting net migration or even stopping the small boats crossings? So secure borders was one of the foundations of what we set out today, alongside national security and economic stability. Secure borders, I think, is a fundamental that people should expect. We've already got to work on, making sure we're removing people who don't have the right to be in this country. Bigger numbers than we'd seen in the last year. Cracking down on gangs with the Border Security Command. It is essential that we tackle this. Keir Starmer was very clear in his speech today that both illegal and legal migration has to come down.
Well, it must come down, but there's no...
Right, I mean, it has to come down. What about the people that are already here? Or are we just going to basically pretend? Are we just going to do that sort of classic thing of be like, oh, well, it's been done now. I guess there's nothing we can do about it, right? Ngubu and Jamal and, Hassan and Mohammed, they're just going to have to integrate. You'll be like, yeah, but they literally don't speak English, right? And the ones that do speak English, I can't understand a fucking word they say. And a bunch of them are now working for government and the NHS, which means that when you go and interface with the government, there's a good chance that you'll be talking to someone who you literally can't understand. And then if you say that you can't understand them, you're a racist, apparently, for noticing that you can't understand them. Mikey Bikey, they're going to let them all stay. Of course they are. Mikey Bikey knows where it's at. Yeah, exactly. They're just going to be like, oh, let bygones be bygones. It's basically like inflation. They'll be like, oh yeah, everything's still getting more expensive, but it's getting more expensive at a slower rate than it was. Progress, bros.
No way of working out if you're anywhere near progress before the election. I mean, just on hotels housing asylum seekers, they've gone up by a net 7 since the election. So how can voters trust you on getting to grips with this big problem?
We are determined to reduce the use of hotel accommodation and bring down the cost. It's not sustainable for the taxpayer and it's not right.
Yeah, that just means you're just going to release them into general population, doesn't it? Right? They're not saying, oh yeah, we're going to send them all back. They're like, we're going to expedite the asylum process. We're just going to let them out. It's fine, bros. It's fine. Always wanted to live between Pakistan and Jamaica, 2 countries I always had a yearning desire to visit. Fucking hell.
But what we inherited was a massive backlog of cases. I mean, the last government had just stopped processing those cases. So we're working through that. We're getting through the cases. We're making decisions. Where people don't have a right to be in this country, we will take action to remove them.
And on net migration, those numbers are huge. 1 million or so in the most recent year counted, a quadrupling, I think, in 4 years under the Tories. They certainly failed. But how can our viewers know that Labour's government will get a grip on it?
We will get a grip on it. That number is not sustainable, and we do have to bring it down. What we're not going to do is set an arbitrary figure. We saw that before under the Conservatives. Year after year, they kept saying they would...
You're not going to set an arbitrary figure. Okay, so you set an arbitrary figures for all these kinds of this other stuff, but you're not going to set an arbitrary figure for inflation, immigration. The two are bound up in my mind now. Gotcha. Say Sapiente, I want to live in England. Oh, racist! Oh, racist! I can't believe such racism in my chat, wanting to live in England. Don't you know England is the land of the Browns now, right? We deserve it for the sin of slavery, bros. Oh, God, right, okay, so yeah, enough of that. Now, what is quite interesting is that Labour have basically done a sort of Tony Blair maneuver. Indeed, right? Despite not listening to Tony Blair at the start of his, premiership, his commissariat, Starmer seems to have had a knock on the door from the Dark Lord, because he's now doing sort of classic Blair, and this is classic Blair, right? Classic Blair is where you pivot to the right of your opponent and deny them oxygen, right? So the right is basically like, we need less immigration. This is ridiculous, with the assumption, of course, that because the left are all anti-white scumbags, they'd be like, oh, you can't do anything about immigration. What about all the Browns and stuff? But what they fail to realize, of course, is this is the left. If someone calls the left racist, they'll just be like, yeah, whatever. It's only the Conservative Party and Reform who are like, don't call me a racist. Oh, anything but that. Like, literally hammer nails into my eye sockets. Just don't call me racist. Oh, I'm so fucking sick of this. So this is literally the Labour Party pointing out correctly, might I add, that it was the Conservative Party that was responsible for an insane amount of inbound migration. I've covered this before. I think I stuck a video out on it. Didn't do too well, but you know, you can get segments of this show, by the way, on YouTube if you're interested. Check it out.
We got this wrong. Mistakes were made. In particular, I'd like to thank the Home Secretary for removing the annual limits on work visas and also on international students, both of which I lobbied for. We got
this wrong. Sorry. We're sorry. Did none of you think that importing vast amounts of third worlders into the UK might have, produce any problems? No, I mean, look, do white people even have a culture? Right? It'll be fine. Oh, God. Dominic Cummings, by the way, said that Boris Johnson once said to him, open the floodgates on immigration. I want to make friends with the Financial Times. Literally, which suggests that the real motive behind this was probably to push down wages, especially after the insane amount of inflation resulting from printing all that money during COVID. If that is the case, then, that's bloody horrible. Which is worse? The Conservatives doing it because they, hate the English, or because they just want cheaper wages for their corporate backers. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. This is an exchange that took place in Parliament Question Time, where Starmer is basically chewing out Kemi Badenoch, who's having a bit of a hard time of it, actually, because she's had to apologise for the Conservative record on immigration. They can't call her racist because she's black and she's a woman. God, so fucking tiresome. Check it out.
Marked contrast to behaviour in the last 14 years. And she talks about immigration, record levels of immigration under the previous government, nearly 1 million. And she was the cheerleader. She was the one urging on the removal of the caps for work visas. She was thanking the previous Home Secretary for the work that was done. She championed it, she advocated it. Record numbers of immigration. Marked contrast to behaviour in the last 14 years.
So yes, they're like, oh my God, now... the more sharp-eyed of you will have remembered where Keir Starmer basically came out and he said, immigration was like a deliberate thing. It was an open borders policy. This was deliberate policy. And more sharp-eyed of you will realise that just 6 months earlier, if you basically said that mass immigration was a deliberate policy, you get a knock on the door from the thought police. It's a bit extremist to think that. But it's only the things that are true that the government gives a shit about oppressing, obviously. So Starmer's like, these 6 milestones will let voters hold us accountable, blah, 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 blah. This is quite good from Guido Fawkes. In case you're confused, there are the foundations, the missions, the first steps, the milestones, and the pillars. Okay? Everyone got that straight? And they relate to each other in all of these different ways. But really, it's just the Fabian Manifesto, bros, is what it is. Good growth in good society, declining carbon emissions, raising living standards, narrowing regional equality, falling poverty, more affordable housing, better health, better education, a safer nation, more caring communities, greater fairness and equality. Of course, this is the big problem here, and many of these sort of things are basically self-contradictory, but, it doesn't matter. It's the Fabian Manifesto, bros. God, I hate it so much. Climate resilience. Yay, more climate resilience. Yay. God. But like I said, the Conservatives are even worse. God, come on. And we got some funny stuff to finish off, just, to wash the eye, to give you some eye bleach.
Welcome to the relaunch of the Labour Party. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I just want you all to know that I have seen the polls. Even Nigel far right is doing better than me, and I am quite frankly bricking.
Wait, didn't I already play this one? I did. I already played this one. Right, sorry. I don't know why. This is funny.
There's nothing more to say. It's very clear to me you're a cunt. There's nothing.
I do like a bit of AI. Right, so you've now heard everything that's going on with Starmer. Very, very optimistic. Anyway, our second story of the night. There has been a an assassination of the head of health insurance company United Health in New York. Famously, very, very safe place to be. I can't believe that this happened. Here's the news thing on it.
Breaking news. A man shot in Midtown just a short time ago. We're told he is in grave condition. It happened on 54th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues. Police telling us a 50-year-old man was struck in the chest. He was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital, and police tell us they are looking for a man with a black mask and carrying a gray backpack. We are told he fled through an alley near the Ziegfeld Theater. No word yet on what led to the shooting. We do have Kirsten Cole at the scene and gathering more information at this hour. And we, of course, will bring you a live report.
So, yes, I think I've got the actual... Yes, so this was the victim, the CEO of United Health, Brian Thompson. He had apparently been receiving threats before his death, probably because he's the head of United Health. The US healthcare system has always been famously very, very dodgy. It's sort of financialized, and the incentives are like all off, and the health insurance companies are famed around the world for denying people coverage. So, people pay into these insurance programs their entire lives, and then they wind up getting like bankrupted and stuff like that. Texas man, but guns and suppressors are illegal in New York City. How could this happen? Yeah, well, that's a very, very good point, Texas man. As everybody knows, making something illegal immediately stops it from happening. That's how we won the war on drugs, bros. Paulette Thompson, his wife, in a phone call shortly after her husband's death, said that she didn't know the details of the threats against her husband, but guessed it could be over a lack of coverage. United Healthcare is a subsidiary of United Health Group, one of the largest companies in the world and the biggest healthcare conglomerate in the United States. F in the chat for the person, the wife who lost her husband, but many people are dying of medical malpractice all over the US. So here's footage of the shooting. Don't worry, it's not particularly gory, and there's no sound. Now, one of the interesting things about this is he's got a silenced pistol, and as you can see, it keeps jamming, or he has to rack the slide after every shot. Now, I am not an expert in this kind of like stuff, but I have seen it said that he might have been using low velocity rounds in a gun that was not designed for it, or using a silencer that was not designed for it, and thus the gun kept jamming, or he had to rack the slide after every shot. Perhaps Texas man, being a based Texan bro, you can provide us with some color and insight on that. I don't know. Look, so interesting that he was basically on his way to, I think, an AGM, shareholders meeting for United Health. Now, everyone is saying that it's, he got killed by some person over coverage. But, it could very, very also be like some kind of like corporate hit. Maybe he was about to say something at this AGM that people didn't like. Perhaps he was, going to say, oh, yeah, I've like pissed away all of your money. Or, he was going to introduce a vote that no one wanted to see. The possibilities are endless. But everyone's basically going with the disgruntled healthcare provider. This is a picture released by the New York police of someone they want to speak with. People have pointed out, that this is not the actual shooter. It seems apparently slightly different backpack. I don't know. I haven't really delved into this much. Maybe it was like someone, allegedly he went into a Starbucks before, and was like, got like a coffee, had his mask off. He's like left behind like prints and stuff. Bit of a sloppy job. Honestly, I don't know, right? The one on the left kind of looks like a chick, but maybe that's just like the angle. Now, another interesting thing is that the three shells, casings that were recovered from the scene were inscribed with the words deny, defend, and depose, which is apparently similar to a book called... Oh, wait, where the hell is it? So apparently there's a book called Deny, Defund, and D something. That is Okay, right. No, I don't have it up here. But it's similar to a book that is all about abuses in the US healthcare and insurance industry. Let me see. Did we get some? Right. So, according to Texas Man, hanging a suppressor off a pistol barrel, you need a booster spring between the two so that the weight of the suppressor does not affect the function of the gun. Some have said, as Yiz points out, that it might have been a bolt-action pistol. It's hard to see exactly the weapon. So this is apparently called a Nielsen device. Thank you very much, Texas Man, our resident small arms expert. Here we go. Delay, Deny, Defend. This is the book in question, right? So this is leading into the theory that whoever shot this guy basically got denied coverage. Perhaps they got cancer. Perhaps someone they cared for was bankrupted or killed through lack of insurance coverage. United Health is one of the worst in the US. 2010 book, right. When it comes to denying claims, Kaiser Permanente being the best, UHC, United Healthcare, being the worst. They deny fully 32% of claims brought to them, which is a lot. I don't know much about how their policies work, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're like, oh, our policy's really cheap, just buy one and no. I mean, then of course you find out that, yeah, you got a cheap policy, but the catch is that when it comes to time to collect, they won't pay out, right? And of course, one of the things about the US healthcare system is if you don't have insurance, it is really, really expensive. One of the things that Trump was trying to alleviate a little bit. So this is from 2023. United Healthcare tried to deny coverage to a chronically ill patient. He fought back, exposing the insurance inner workings. I presume that means that he sued them, not that he actually literally fought back. Now, the lefties, of course, I guess somewhat understandably, are very, very happy about this. They're doing the whole, you didn't see nothing, bro. You didn't see nothing. Check it out.
Have you guys heard the good news? They say it was a targeted attack. And personally, the gunman is at large. So if you see anything, no, you fucking didn't. Oh, you think no, you didn't. Protect this person. Also, do more. That's a hero. That's my fucking hero right there.
Indeed. Into the crystal. There needs to be more into the crystal. However, I mean, honestly, at this point, some of these US healthcare stories are getting ghoulish, right? Blue Cross Blue Shield in Connecticut, New York, and Missouri have declared it will no longer pay for anesthesia for the full length of some surgeries. If the procedure goes over a certain time, anesthesia will not be covered for the duration. I mean, bro, that's fucking dark, mate. That is pretty fucking. Oh, there's a community note. Apparently this is because anesthesiologists do surprise billing. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound good, does it? Right? Yeah, it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. Now, some people on the left, such as Taylor Lorenz, old Tay here, they're just going the full thing. They're like, yeah, man, do more of it. Kill more people. It's crazy. People wonder why we want these people in this way. She was saying that people have a justified hatred towards insurance company CEOs because these executives are responsible for an unfathomable amount of death and suffering. As someone against death and suffering, oh, she's for all the good things, bro. I think it's good to call out this broken system and the people in power who enable it. So yeah, it's really going off. The lefties are basically just saying do more of that. Healthcare executive down. Woo! Now this really sort of makes me wonder. Oh my God, she's even posting pictures of CEOs. Woof, mate, that's fucking grim. This leads into a deeper question about whether there is going to be more political violence in the US. Remember, of course, the US very famously was convulsed with political violence during the 60s and 70s before the Reagan era. I think I actually... Did we do an Empire of Lies where we talked about the parallels between the 1960s and the 2010s? I can't remember. I definitely wrote a script for one. I'm not sure if it ever went to air. No, I think we did. So people are saying like, oh yeah, my sympathy is like out of network. Sending prior authorization, denied claims, collections, and prayers to his family. So yeah, I mean it's pretty grim. It's pretty grim. I guess we are going to see whether this goes any further. This may become quite germane quite soon because Peter Hotez, old Petey boy, Mr. Hookworm himself, has come out. He's looking a little bit haggard these days, bro. I don't know. Maybe the pressure's getting to him. For some weird reason, he is dead sure that there's going to be another pandemic on or around January 21st. Just saying, someone on the Trump team should really be looking into this guy, like for real.
Here's the reason why we need to care about this stuff, Nicole, is that we have some big picture stuff coming down the pike starting on January 21st. Mr. Bloomberg mentioned H5N1. That I'm really worried about. It's all over wild birds on the western part of the United States and going up in the north. It's getting into the poultry. We're seeing sporadic human cases, no human-to-human transmission yet, but that could happen. It's in the cattle, it's in the milk, and that's just the beginning. We have another major coronavirus likely brewing in Asia. We've had SARS in 2002, SARS-2, COVID-19 in 2019. And we know these viruses are jumping from bats to people thousands of times a year. But there's still more. We know that we have.
And you know how we know that they're jumping from bats to people thousands of times a year? Because we're actually doing it in laboratories while we're studying gain of function. But it's completely natural, bros.
A big problem with mosquito-transmitted viruses all along the Gulf Coast, where I am here in Texas. So we're expecting dengue and possibly Zika virus coming back, or a Puche virus, maybe even yellow fever. And there's more. Then we have all this sharp rise in vaccine-preventable diseases going up because of, in part, the anti-vaccine activism that's so prominent right now. We have a five-fold rise in pertussis cases, whooping cough over the last year, 15 measles outbreaks this year. We've got polio that's been in the wastewater in New York State. All that's going to come crashing down on January 21st on the Trump administration. We need a really, really good team to be able to handle this.
I mean, that kind of sounds like a threat, bro. I mean, I'm just saying. But don't worry, bros. It looks like Dr. Fauci is going to get a pardon. Because that's how it works. You see, when you work for the global government, when you do their dirty work, you gets the immunity. We're not going to let Fauci go under the bus. He knows where all the bodies are buried. He knows where the secret labs are. We can't have that coming out. Yeah, the rumor is going around that Fauci, Schiff, and Liz Cheney are all going to get preemptive pardons. What did they do wrong, bros? Like, their justification is that Trump will seek retribution, for the horrible shit that they did. Obviously, that's, very, very bad. I will be following on from this. Some people have said, like, even if they get the pardon, they can still try them. They just can't sentence them. So, I don't know. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene responding to the news. I think she's pretty based, bros.
No, absolutely not. I mean, everything I said is correct. It's how the American people feel. It's what we know to be a fact. It's all the evidence has been proven true. We have Jamie Raskin in there accusing us of worshiping Trump, worshiping as a convicted felon. He is a convicted felon. Well, yeah, so is George Floyd. And everybody, and you all too, the media worship George Floyd. Democrats worship George Floyd. There were riots burning down the fucking country over George Floyd, and Raskin is in there saying we worship him. Excuse me, let me correct you, and this is really important. I don't worship, I worship God. God. And Jesus is my savior. I don't worship President Trump. And I'm really sick and tired of the bullshit annex I have to deal with constantly from the Democrats. So that's what we just went through in there. And then they're sitting there, they can attack my character all day long. What's his face in there, whoever was talking last was calling me insane, but yet we can't say, oh, they're attacking my character. Oh no, it's nonstop BS and annex. You want to know why? The Democrats don't have anything. They're responsible for the lockdowns, forced vaccinations, kids being forced to stay home, people committing suicide, and all the horrors that this country lived through during COVID. Fauci belongs in prison. He should be tried for mass murder, and he should be tried for crimes against humanity. That's how I feel after that hearing. That's how the American people feel.
Yes, I'm loving that energy. Miss Green, you don't know what you are talking about. I am the science, and you are just a crazy person. You can't put the science on trial. The science is above question. I am the science. Yeah, fucking mate. Maybe look at Marjorie Taylor Greene to like drag him out of his like hidey hole like Saddam Hussein. Oh, mate, come on, that'd be fucking awesome. Now our final story. Oh, we're running a little bit late. We've got 10 minutes. In a development that literally surprised no one who knows anything about Australia, the social media bill, right, passed, right? This basically means in about a year or so, anyone who wants to go online and use certain social media platforms, which ones, you know which ones, right? It'll be the ones that allow you to criticize the government, are going to have to verify their age somehow, right? Digital ID. It's going to be digital ID, right? Like, even if they don't call it digital ID, it's going to be digital ID. You're probably going to have to take a photograph of your face, and they'll use like some algorithm to like determine that it's really your face. And then, I don't know, kids will like just put a photo in front of it or some shit. I don't know, right? It's so fucking stupid. But yeah, it passed in the Senate. What a fucking surprise.
The question before the Senate is that the remaining stages of the bill be agreed to and the bill be now passed. Those for the question passed to the right of the chair, noes to the left. Appoint Senator Grogan as teller for the ayes and Senator McKim as teller for the noes. Honourable Senators, there being 34 ayes and 19 noes, it's passed in the resolved in the affirmative. The question before the Senate.
So yes, it passed, right? Now, in order to sort of foment the kind of environment to justify this kind of thing, I mean, you know, the ABC, which is basically the Australian version of the BBC, is always doing this kind of like stuff. Australia has one of the most oppressive propaganda environments on Earth. It's just terrible the way they communicate with their public. But very effective. So they must be feeling the effects of people not trusting the propaganda, particularly acutely. So this is from ABC News. Mistrustful adults could be more vulnerable to vaccine conspiracy theories and are bad at spotting fake news. Right. You just don't trust stuff, right? Like, why don't you trust stuff, right? Well, social media, obviously. If you'd never been exposed to this information, you would keep trusting the shit that we feed you. A new report by a UK research team has found that adults who are more gullible struggle to tell the difference between real and fake news. You're just gullible, bro. It's not because we lied to you. Like, this is some top tier gaslighting, and this is a classic example of how the Australian government operate, right? They're even worse than the UK, right? Like, I know that's hard to believe, but trust me, like, it's just, ugh. A separate report found that misinformation which provoked outrage was more widely spread. Oh, wow. Fucking, how much did they pay to find that really obvious thing out? Further research is needed to determine what other factors might make someone more susceptible to misinformation and fake news. How much you want to bet, bros, that none of this research is going to come up with the answer when the government lies to people and people find out about it? So, I looked up this paper. I mean, at least they did actually link it, right? The role of epistemic trust and epistemic disruption in vaccine hesitancy, conspiracy thinking, and the capacity to identify fake news. Ooh, 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 ooh. Epistemic disruption, bros. Ooh, ooh. Epistemic trust, defined as readiness to regard knowledge communicated by another agent as significant, relevant to the self, and generalizable to other contexts, has recently been applied to the field of developmental psychopathology as a potential risk factor for psychopathology. In other words, right, like basically, if you don't trust what the government says, you're mentally ill. You can see where this is going, right? Like, you can see very clearly where this shit is going. The work described here sought to investigate how the vulnerability engendered by disruptions in epistemic trust may not only impact psychological resilience and interpersonal processes, but also aspects of more general social functioning. Yeah, it turns out, right, it's harder to function in society when you discover that most of the shit that's being said is complete bullshit. Imagine that. Imagine that. We undertook 2 studies to examine the role of epistemic trust in determining capacity to recognize fake or real news and susceptibility to conspiracy thinking, both in general and in relation to COVID-19. So, look, just finally, mistrust and credulity were associated with general and COVID-19 related conspiracy beliefs and vaccine hesitancy. Oh, vaccine hesitancy. Oh, we can't have that, bros. Imagine being vaccine hesitant. Imagine not being fucking vaccine hesitant after the last fucking 4 years. We discussed the implications of these findings for our understanding of fake news and conspiracy theory. So, spoiler alert, I'll just tell you what they basically come up with. It turns out if you have childhood trauma, you're more vulnerable to fake news and you need psychological help. How convenient. How convenient. There is nothing in there about how the government should stop lying to people. Of course, we know how this works. Look at this. Epistemic trust is basically, trust in government messaging. Fake news and misinformation. There are currently high levels of concern about the breakdown in trust in legitimate sources of information and the effects of misinformation. Yeah, because you lied to people. The government lied to people. Conspiracy theories affecting vaccine uptake. Apparently 10% of a UK representative sample showed very high levels of conspiracy thinking about COVID-19. They don't really define what that is, obviously, and 50% to some degree endorsed conspiracy thinking. Again, not really defined. Basically, people are noticing that they were lied to. Now, I think a big reason why they're doing this social media bill are these 2 cases. Now, I have no idea if any of these are true. I would not put it past the Australian Federal Police, who are notoriously corrupt, to just frame people for stuff in order to justify a creeping authoritarian agenda. But this is the stuff. These are both from The Guardian, of course. Basically, ASIO and the Australian Federal Police convicted 2 teenagers, 16 and 14, under the country's counter-terrorism laws for posting stuff online. Great. So yes, they were making spicy posts advocating for attacks on persons of non-Caucasian appearance and urging others to prepare for an upcoming race war to defend the white race. Oh, you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that. Basically, Fed posting, talk to a glowy, and now you're in jail. At 14. Fucking hell, mate. And, apparently, he boasted that he had access to, stuff, but he only really had a tactical vest and a ballistic helmet, I don't know whether he was snitched on by the FBI, partly informed by Five Eyes collaboration. Okay, so what this basically means is that because there are laws that the intelligence agencies, the foreign ones, can't spy on their own people, they get the intelligence agencies in other countries to do the spying on their people for them. This is even more explicit in this next case. This does look a bit more serious. FBI basically tipped off Australia to, this guy who was basically saying he was going to do a massive Fed posting. Apparently he did actually have stuff. I don't know. Again, He didn't have any guns, knives, a slingshot, and tactical equipment. Allegedly, they found chemicals that could be mixed. I don't know what that means, right? Like, the way these things work, they could have just searched his entire house and been like, oh, you got peroxide here, and oh, you got like some chlorine-based cleaner here. If you mix them both together, like, you know, seriously, right? They've been harassing this dude for like ages. Basically, they've been searching his house like every couple of months, just kicking his door in again and again. He's clearly not well. He's like writing all these little notes. Yeah, it's, you know. But my point is that it seems like Australian youth are getting increasingly radicalized. And it makes me wonder if this is the real reason why the ABC News has made this article. Britain and Australia have a spy shortage and recruiting the next generation is proving difficult. Well, I presume by that what they mean is that recruiting whites is getting difficult because of all the DEI bullshit and because of all the anti-white messaging. Who the fuck would want to work for a government that, you know, is explicitly anti-white, right? I'm sure if they needed, like, you know, more browns or Asians or whatever, they'd, you know, have people lining up. So, you know, they're like, you know, we need more spies in the UK and in Australia. Again, I don't think this would be a problem if it wasn't that they needed white people who understand the right wing, because who in their right mind would work for these shitbags? And finally, the UK government is sort of pivoting into this. Their version is climate dissent. You're not allowed to dissent about climate change. The UK has dumped, you know, some fucking, I don't know, insane amount of money into this, signed off on at the recent G20 summit in Brazil. The Global Initiative for Information Integrity on Climate Change. Oh, that sounds fucking sinister as hell. Part of its remit will fund non-profit glow-ups, rooting out so-called disinformation and promoting public awareness campaigns. Oh, God, Lord and Saints preserve us. So, you know, they're back, right? You know, they took a little bit of a hit after COVID, and now presumably they've got more money, and so they're going to come back, and this time instead of my vaccine, it's going to be my climate. So I'm really looking forward to that. Anyway, that's all the news. You're all caught up now, bros. Oh, and also the French government collapsed. You know, I'll be covering that probably next show. I'm waiting to see how this shakes out. No one's actually officially resigned yet, so we'll see. But, you know, just so you know, first French government in 60 years to have a collapsey. Okay, right. So time for some cringe. Don't worry, we don't have much cringe this week, bros. Watching that Keir Starmer stuff was bad enough, so I'm going to spare you from like most of the cringe. We got some funny videos though. This is pretty funny. Starmer turning on the Christmas lights. Oh my God, this guy, he's got the charisma of a fucking burnt frying pan.
Could you please join me when I say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, it worked.
Hey, it worked. Unlike your government. However, the AI edits for this were fucking amazing. Check it out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, it worked.
And this one.
Could you please join me when I say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! It worked. Could you please join me?
AI has been a great boon for political satire. Yes, I mean, US Army bros, mate, you got to be in it to win it.
Who are you? Who are we? We are that platoon.
Who are you? Who are we? We are that platoon.
Yes, perhaps send that platoon to Syria or something. Oh yeah, and there's like a war in Syria as well. You know, this is Dave Blunt's. This is a real thing. This is straight out of Idiocracy, right? Like this is literally what could be like in Idiocracy, the film. Here he is rapping on stage with a hot chick and an oxygen tank. Mate.
Hey, Chicago, do y'all have a problem with me sitting down on this stage? Yeah. Exactly. Get the fuck off my dick, Snoop Dogg. I bought her a chain, I bought her a bag, I made her everything. The only thing that I didn't buy her is a new wedding ring. I told her to promise always stay true and never to fuck the team. I know she probably think I'm crazy cause I'm always saying that. But my ex, she did me dirty once I got my heart attack.
The lyrics, she did me dirty once I got my heart attack. Why? Why would he have had a heart attack? You notice, by the way, he's lip syncing, right? He can't even actually sing the bloody song. He's so out of breath. Like, fuck, mate.
And I'm steady on the sands cause they help me to relax. Xanax don't help me, it just put me in a trance. I'm talking about euphoria, I'm not talking about a man. Told her don't leave me cause I need you by my side. As long as you don't leave me, then I'll probably be alright. And that one time that you left me, I didn't get no sleep that night. And that one time that you left me, I took 10 perks to get high. 10 perks to get high.
Bro, I just don't know, right? Like, what the hell? What the fuck, right? Now, instead of cringe, we're going to be playing some based stuff. This is Rupert Lowe, MP Rupert Lowe from, I forget where his seat is. This guy is basically coming out to be the new actual head of the right in the UK since Nigel Farage decided to be a complete pussy. This guy speaks a lot of sense. I'm liking it.
I mean, taken to its logical conclusion, the state should really be in charge of, law and order and defence. But law and order, again, that's another one. Our judiciary, in my view, has gone woke. I don't trust them. I think a lot of people in this country equally don't trust them. You never know what decision you're going to get. You've got all these, we're told we've got to abide by the rule of law, and yet we've got all these ridiculous laws that Tony Blair brought in, which give this, if you like, oxygen to a woke judiciary, which is completely out of touch with what I call proper Britain.
Mm.
So again, that needs to be dealt with.
How would you deal with that?
Well, again, I don't have all the answers. I mean, I think we've got to start with bits. So with immigration, we have to start. So, for instance, foreign criminals in our jails, they should be deported straight away.
Yeah.
Illegal immigrants we should go after them and we should deport them.
There are 1.2 million illegal.
Illegally.
There's 1.2 million.
Illegal means illegal. They're not supposed to be here.
Okay, but practically, this is something that I spoke with your colleague.
I think, Winston, there are a lot more than that. I mean, again,
yeah, at least 1.2 million. Let's say there's reports of 1.2 million. Okay, let's go back to immigration.
Well, you saw my scheme. I thought MPs who don't mind about all this illegal immigration there should be a scheme whereby they offer to have an illegal immigrant in their house in a spare bedroom, because they're planting them all over the British countryside. I think Altrincham was the latest place.
Yeah.
Suddenly, men of the fighting age are literally dumped in there. I gather some of them are getting, all sorts of healthcare benefits that the British people don't get.
This specific issue is causing unbelievable tension. Obviously, there was the August riots, but you remember Knowsley at the beginning of 2023. Those riots were almost a precursor to what happened in August 24, which is that you dump these people in poor working areas of Britain. And then when there's issues, like in the case of Knowsley, there was a man who was filmed making a pass at a 15-year-old local girl. The police do fuck all about it. And then the local people are angry and upset. And so then you have riots.
I'm on record, Winston, saying, obviously violence is not something we should be condoning in any way. But I think people's concern is genuine, and it's correct. I mean, they should have concerns. Just look at these with figures yesterday. I mean, it's too many untargeted people coming into the country, both legally and illegally. But you've got to start with the illegal people. And you need to, I think, have a much tougher view. We need a charter. Again, I think probably I need to work on a charter of, where we need to deal with illegal immigration first. Dealing with legal immigration is much more difficult. But the first thing we should do is we should have basically a moratorium for 2 years while we deal with all this illegal immigration. And then we start to deal with legal migration. And as you know, parts of Europe that have experimented with almost unlimited immigration, if you take Sweden and you take Germany, they're beginning to regret what they did. So we should be learning.
Are paying.
We should be learning from that.
For people to be deported.
We should not be. We should not be just opening our borders, and we shouldn't be treating our own taxpayers who are funding this country badly and basically putting them at the bottom of the queue. They should be at the top of the queue.
I don't know, bros.
Taken to its logical.
Sounds a bit racist to me. No, honestly, it sounds really, really good. We also have a super chat from Simon JJ for $15. I'm sure this was a great stream. This was a great stream. Thank you so much. Wait, where's the heart? Thank you very, very much, Simon JJ. Muchly appreciated. The animated dancing girl also appreciates your money. That's how she gets paid. You see, it's not cheap to hire animated dancing girls. Right, wait, where's the sticker? Okay, we have more. Is that the end of Based World? Let me see. What else have we got next on the list? All right, we got some funny stuff now. Sadie Sapiente was responsible for sending me most of these. Thank you very much.
People of Canada, the Great White North, as they call it. Except it's not so great anymore, is it? I call it the Great Sad North because that's what it is, sad. On January 20th, I will be slapping huge tariffs on all products coming from your country. The economic consequences will be devastating, but they don't have to be. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was just with me at Mar-a-Lago, and I suggested that I would make Canada the 51st state. It's called Manifest Destiny, and it's happening whether you hosers like it or not. You should have never let us get Alaska. That was your first mistake. Makes no sense that you have to drive through Canada to get to America. Not any longer. There are a lot of great benefits to joining America. We have a great military, the greatest in the world. You'll be able to move from those awful cold shitholes you live in to warm shitholes. Quebec will no longer be a thing. You don't like it, you can all move to France. All Tim Hortons will now become Dunkin' Donuts. Curling will be banned. It's a ridiculous sport, if you can even call it that. As for your precious ice hockey, this will be the hardest part to deal with. But who said there wouldn't be growing pains? The American and Canadian national teams will merge. Say goodbye to your silly little Leaf. Say hello to Stars and Stripes and Bald Eagles. Also for all those celebrities that moved to Canada because I one sucks to be you.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe.
Yeah, that's Danny Polachuk. Great comedian. Highly recommend. Give him a follow. This is good as well. I don't know who this is from, but awesome.
Hello and Merry Christmas. Let's go to Los Angeles tonight, that festering garbage pile of a city where reptilian film producers ate Judy Garland's brain. Apparently Nakatomi Plaza has been held hostage by German nationals. Germans again? Wow. What if their leader turns out to be an angry Austrian man? We all know how that turned out last time. Shots have been heard fired from inside. Apparently there's a lone police officer fighting back against the militants. The only audio obtained from his phone call? Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Humper. I mean, what do we have to do to please terrorists? What do we have to do? What, give them all of Hollywood?
Now that is a fucking good Tuckery impression. That is properly cracking. IKEA catapults.
I think this one fits. It's not the way it looks in the instructions, Harold. I think that's part B2. Where's A5? This is ridiculous. Where are the words? Not your left, my left.
What's your left then? Oh, God.
It's like they want you to fail.
Alan, what's this?
Can I go over the middle? You try turning it clockwise?
I've never seen a clock, mate. I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah! All right. Let's give it a go then.
What else we got? Oh yeah, this is from I always forget this guy's name. The I'm Delicious guy. Totally awesome.
Stop fucking making the Christmas sweet smaller! They've reduced it to 550 grams. That wouldn't even get me fucking started. You wouldn't even make a dog sick with that much chocolate. That would make a dog sick, by the way. I always forget some people on the internet are very stupid. And it gets even worse. Wait till you see this. A 325 gram pouch. Fuck pouches. €7, 21.50 for a kilogram. That's nearly the price of gold. What's the price of gold? A kilogram of gold is 85,000, so it's not exactly the same, but it's getting dangerously fucking close. Shrinkflation, you are stealing Christmas from the common man. This is what Christmas is all about. You get up early in the morning, you eat sweets. You go for a little nap, then you get up and have breakfast and you eat sweets, and then you have a nap and then you have dinner and then you eat sweets. This is a human right on Christmas. I will not stand for this injustice. Follow me, I'm delicious.
Oh man, yeah, the shrinkflation is getting really bad. This is pretty good. The most chatterly exercise of all, if you're trying to meet some goth chicks. Right, cute animal videos to finish off.
Cute dinner dates. Oh, try it with the sauce, bro. Trust me, you'll like it. Ooh, yeah. Saucy. You like it? Yeah? Want some more? Cheese sauce. Tasty. Thank you. Hey, bro.
Aw. Doggos.
Do you like it?
Is that your new favorite toy? Yeah?
Aww. Cats meeting snow. Always good. Yeah, it's winter, so.
Come on! Come on! No! No, 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 no! I say I'm too late. Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates, but I can't make them stay. At least that's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising. Can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. 'Cause the player's gonna play, 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 play. And the haters gonna hate, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreaker's gonna break, 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 break. And the faker's gonna fake, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake.
Aww. What else we got? This is stupid.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh, corgis. do that. It's like, are you mad? Snowy Bear.
You're full of snow. Did you turn around because you want me to scratch you? Do you want this? Huh? Do you want me to scratch you? Get all the snow off you? Huh? Get the snow off you? That's coming off of you. If you turn around, I'll get your other side. I think it's time for you to go hibernate again. Whoa, okay. Good boy, you did it. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. I love you, baby. I love you.
I'm guessing that's a trained bear, not just a random bear that wandered into the yard. Right. I think this is a macaque monkey. I'm not sure. Aw, cute little monkey. Oh, this is just adorable. Look at this. Mother Owl being like, I'm not sure, like, you know, if this is one of mine. What's this? Oh, I think more corgis. Oh my god, so many corgis. How is that even like possible? Aw. And our last cute animal video of the night. I think it's just a cute deer. And that's the end of the show, everyone. Let's say a quick goodbye to everyone in the chat on Rumble. J. Chiva Loophole, Cthulhu Loves You, Crisby13, Sede Sapiente, Fox39 Forever, Mass Creation Broadcasts, thanks for coming. Livia Drusilla, Yiz has gone. Is there anyone else I forgot? I think Mikey Bikey was in here, but I think he's left. Ardent Party. I think Wyatt's Torch was in here as well. Yep. Anybody else that I forgot? Total Blackout Painting, of course. Good to see you, man. I think that's everybody. On YouTube, we have Simon JJ. Thanks very much for the super chat. Simon, Full Short, good to see you. I think you're new. Thanks for coming along, mate. Roger Cook, Uncle Ted's Cabin, Total Blackout Painting again. Who else? Oh no. I think Budgie Burger was in here as well as the Nameless One. Is there anybody else that I missed? If there's anyone else I missed, I do apologize. I think that's everybody. And on Odyssey, Wibble and Tasia. Good to see you guys. We'll be back on Monday. Have an excellent weekend. And I'll also be on Empire of Lies tonight, talking about James Lindsay trying to make the woke right a thing and sort of like, kind of like failing at it. Should be interesting. Hope to see you all there. Good night, everyone. And have a good weekend. Bye.